Hello and welcome to Bookshelf Besties, your favorite channel for your BL-loving non-binary beauties. Britt, what did we read this week?
I have like a humble stack, but I'm gonna be really honest with you. Technically, this is the reads.
Oh, you were okay. She said I'm going digital this week.
Digital was the main person, but I just want to do an honorable mention to the things that I like just purchased like as of
Valid.
today. Yeah. So
Oh, as of today. She
as
said
of
I
today.
went shopping and then I came here.
Yeah. I had to reserve. I love me a good reserve, especially because there's a Fujo, and if I find out who it is, there's a Fujo. I hope you're watching. This is a threat. There's a Fujo who goes to my Barnes and Noble, and when I find you, because you've been taking some of the things before I've been seeing them, and I'm just saying, I think I can fight.
I'm clocking it now. They work there. They work there.
Actually, now that
They
you
see
say
it.
that,
They see it the moment that it hits the inventory, and they're like, clock out, store discount, going home.
now that you mentioned that, there's two girls there that I do know, and they do like to take pictures of what I purchase, and I think they're using their privileges for evil. I think they're using their privileges for evil. Wow.
For evil. For
Okay.
evil is great.
I'm gonna sit on that. I'm gonna process that. I'm gonna process that. But yeah, I had a lot of digitals this week, and I keep forgetting to like mention them in other videos, but I have digitals.
I want to hear about what you're reading electronically because I don't do unless I am two things. One, super 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 desperate to like read this title. Actually, one thing, yeah, I have to be mad desperate to read the title before I read it electronically because I do not like reading on a tablet. I just don't enjoy it.
Yeah, but I think that's the one of the things that I love reading specifically on my tablet is because you find like if you go to Renta, if you go to all these different places, you find
Mhm.
such good gems. So for things like this where I can get them like let me see the real you senpai, for those you can get them in person. I would much prefer to get those. But when I'm getting like these like very interesting Japanese finds that were either translated
Mm.
digitally or I would probably have to translate myself. Love that. Um,
Ha!
that's tedious. But I have to do it on my Kindle, and I love it because there's just so much that we don't get over here, and I'm like, ugh. So I think I have three digitals, but I'll kick it off with I don't know how to pronounce things. So I did
Okay.
translate the name myself. If it is not the right one, I apologize. But y'all don't want to hear my Atlanta ass try to pronounce some of these things. I would say Kokaway, Tata Isu. It's gonna be hilarious. So I'm gonna just say that right quick. But one of the first
Okay.
ones is My Tearful Landlord Mikuru, and it's literally about a landlord of this predominantly. Let me not say predominantly. It's this kind of like in his 20s, he's looking for an apartment. He does day jobs, day-to-day things, and he's like do I'm looking for an apartment. He gets like a person to look for it. They find a very interesting place. It's low-key kind of run down, and he's like, look, the rent is good. It has a really nice view of the ocean. Let me just go in. And you come to find out that there is a landlord, and he is taking over his grandparents' boarding home. And the thing about his grandmother is that she didn't like that gay people were being discriminated for housing. So she's like, I have this boarding home. I have this small little place. You can come and stay here. So it's known as the place that has a bunch of gay people in it living there who rent there. And so he has
Come on,
taken.
Valentina.
Exactly. So he's taken it upon himself to continue that. But one of the things about himself is that he does so much for other people. He was taken care of by his grandparents. He emulates his grandparents. He wears a bunch of like old clothes to like simulate his like grandfather. And so he's very
Mm.
stuck in his ways. He wants to make sure he's making money so he can keep up this thing for his grandmother. And kind of like day by day as this newcomer comes in, he's starting to make him realize like, okay, I don't have to be so uptight. I don't have to be this one. I can do a lot of things for
Mhm.
myself. And all the other people in the boarding home or in the apartment complex, they see him as their like little child. They're like protecting him. And when it gets to a point that they feel comfortable that he is able to be himself and be comfortable and do things for himself, be a little bit more selfish, find love with this new renter, most of them were like, you know what, we're good now. Because they always wanted to leave the apartment complex, but they knew that it was not the time. Like if he left, it would have been kind of like, it would have broken him. And so they eventually leave, and he's like, thank you guys so much for being here and for like staying here. I learned so much from you guys. And he allows himself to kind of like fall in love. And there's this little hiccup because he's so into making sure he has enough money for the home that the guy that he does like, he was like, oh, I noticed that you like hugging, so I included a hugging package that I can give you hugs. And he's like, no, I really like you. And there's like this little miscommunication, and he was like, you know what, I know his kind of like his thought process and things like that. So it was really cute. And he's tearful because he just wants to make sure everything is in order, and he just will get overwhelmed with a lot of those emotions. Like, I just want to make sure I'm doing my grandpa proud. I want to make sure I'm doing this for my grandma, but also like, I don't know what some of these emotions are, and I think it's love, and I don't know. I'm just like really happy, and so that's why it's my Tearful Landlord. It's so cute.
Aww. Cut to next year when it goes into publication, and the title is actually My Crybaby Landlord.
LOL.
And so,
Cause Tokyo Pop will do that to me, and watch it be Tokyo Pop.
they will. No, they will. They will. I love the word tearful. That just has such like a sweet, poetic like note to it. And Tokyo Pop is just like little bitch boy crybaby.
literally.
Little bitch boy crybaby landlord.
Tokyo Pop will take the most cunty name ever and then just be like, how can we kind of dumb it down a little bit? I'm like, no, keep this damn name. Star and Hedgehog, I'm
Shout
talking
out
about
Tokyo
you.
Pop, we love you.
Or Fox and Puppy, I'm talking about you.
Okay, wait, on the note of I read a Tokyo Pop title this week.
Ooh, which one was it?
My Moons and Midnights Are For You.
Okay, let's talk about it. What'd you think?
Okay, so if you take a quick glance at my reads this week, apparently I was just really horny. Like it was nothing but like spice this week. Everything was just like,
yeah,
it was crazy. So here's the thing. I'm gonna let the audience know right quick, if you are considering picking this up, this is for the girls, gays, and theys that love power exchange, that have an insight into the kink scene, that have an understanding of the different ways consent and enthusiastic consent present itself. Like, this is one of those things to where you have to go in with an understanding of what the author is communicating here. Like, this is not for newbies, this is not for greenies, this is for those that have a little bit more seasoning in this arena. I'm letting you know right now, okay? Because if you don't have that, you can get really uncomfy really quick. So let's just getting that out of the way. I will say though, thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I want a t-shirt that says "Come over and bully me." Like, I absolutely appreciate, like, so the chat can understand and be in on the joke. This follows a famous VTuber and his manager, and the dynamic therein is kind of typical. It's a bit familiar. You know, the VTuber has this really bright and bubbly personality online, and then behind closed doors or off screen, he's just like a little fungus. You know, he's just this little introvert emo boy. He's just this cesspool collecting bacteria in his bedroom, and it's adorable. We love that. He has a manager that loves to take care of him. He has a manager that loves to come over and clean and like feed him and make sure that he's not dead and all of that such. And we very quickly transition into a very sexual power dynamic. And that's why you need to have an understanding of like what this world looks like beforehand, or at least set the right expectation, because it is all consensual. It is. It just feels a little like, whoa, this happened out of nowhere kind of a thing. But I loved it, and I appreciated that we continue to go down that path. I liked the types of conflict that they included. You know, we get a couple of other VTubers into his like managerial circle. We have the politics of the business going on, but all the while, I do appreciate that our lovely little VTuber has a proper character arc. Like, he actually grows, which is really nice. Like, we see him come into a better place of mental health. We see him come into a better place of like confidence and self-assurance and understanding. And I love that the scales of the relationship find their balance, but as evidence of the healthy consent of it all, their dynamic when it comes to intimacy remains the same,
Mm.
which is beautiful. And I loved it. So if you are into a lot of peepees per page, this is a great book for you because it's like every other chapter, there's squelching and thwacking and fwapping. And it's wonderful. Peepees per page, that's my metric. That is how I measure spice. The PPP scale, the peepees per page.
I'm so weak. That just I'm tickled. I'm tickled because immediately I think of this one that I just picked up and I was like, bro, it's literally, it's not R18, it's R19. So I can even imagine.
Level up, level up.
They said actually not only 18, baby 19. You need an extra year.
Yeah, I would highly recommend My Moons and Midnights Are For You for the horny girlies, those of us that love to be praised, that love to be bullied. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Very good read. Thank you so much, Tokyo Pop. And it's a one shot, and it's a good one shot. This is one that it ended, and I was like, you know what? I don't need any more. I'm happy with this. This is cool for me.
Oh, actually, Queen, it's a two shot.
Oh, that's a one right there.
Yep.
Dang!
Yep. There's a second one
That's
coming
how
out.
good the writing is. It was so complete that I was ready. Dang. All right. I guess I gotta go get volume two.
No, I really liked it too. It was a really good one because I think it goes as you go along with it. Like I also recognize like, okay, there's this like dynamic. There's also what I put in one of my videos, like there was like a mental health imbalance, but it didn't, I think he was very cognizant throughout of it. And so his mental health was also in the forefront of a lot of the things that he was trying to do and also help with Mayo. And I think it was a really good one. I really need them to do more of these, like more modern-ish, like modern in a sense of like VTubers. There's one that just came out that I'm
Yes.
mad. No, it actually comes out in February, but there's an ASMR one coming out. There
Oh,
is,
I saw that.
yeah, and I read a
And
Japanese one that's an ASMR one. It was okay, but I read a Japanese one that was an ASMR, and then there's another one that came out where he was quote unquote cam boy, but mainly for like pictures. I need more of those. I love like that virtual sense, and then how you can have a relationship with it. That's a fun one.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. I respect that because you read. It's not called My Noisy Roommates. You and I Are Not Cut Out to Be Lovers. The one where like the mechanic has the streamer like content
Oh
creator move
yes.
in next door. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I do. I appreciate contemporary story settings, especially given what we do. It feels kind of
Yeah.
nice to be like, yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I can find love! Yay!
Wait, can I confess something to you?
Okay.
I hate ASMR.
You hate
Like
it?
if I hate it. Like if it comes up on my feed, blocked. It actually like it makes me physically uncomfortable. Like my skin crawls with how like in the way that it satisfies people on that end of the spectrum and like scratches their brain. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
I love this. Antithesis. I want to jump out of my skin. I'm like I get violent. It's awful.
I love. I hate that. There's a lady who does the glue. I hate the glue. The
The
glue.
glue. I don't even know what that is.
She has.
I don't want to know. I
Okay.
don't want to know.
Okay. But she does a glue, and I hate it. But there's I like the soap where you cut the soap in a particular thing, and then you slice it, and then it all falls down perfectly in those things. That's
Okay.
mine. But other than that, I think it's like a satisfying thing. It doesn't like scratch something, but it's just like, wow, that's really nice. But I'm also a lover of pimple popping videos. So I just like, it's a
No,
different.
no, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Tough crowd.
No. My mom loves that stuff.
Oh
And I'm like,
yeah.
I give her a pass because she's in the medical field and she's just like, ooh, these tools, ooh, this technique. Ooh, I'm like,
No.
bleh.
No. For you page, scroll, BL, poor head whiner, or whatever it's called.
That's crazy. You know what? Here's the thing though. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that there are things on the internet that like bring you joy. You know what I mean? I'm so happy for you.
I'm so weak. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think you're gonna like this one. I just have to
Tell me.
figure out how to get it to you in English. But is it this one? It is this one. Oh my gosh. Okay. What is I'm gonna try to pronounce this name. Ooh, I just got nervous. Oh my gosh. Okay. I should have practiced this. Furi muite. I don't want to do this anymore.
Believe me, no, you're committed. You're committed. You're in it.
Furi muite suka maete? Girl, I want to see me in your eyes. It's that one by Yoriko. This is the same person who did It's a High School Romance. It was Toronto-kun and Kumazaki-kun. I fell down a rabbit hole of her stuff, and she does a lot of childhood friends to lovers. And
Oof.
it was
My jam.
good. That's what I was saying. You could like this one. But this one is specifically, it's childhood friends in a way. So this guy is an office worker, and you start off the chapter and you recognize that he's in love with a straight man. He's in love with his best friend who
Classic.
exactly. So he's in love with his best friend who has a girlfriend, and he just told him, hey, so I'm moving in with my girlfriend. It's looking real serious. And he's like, oh my gosh, like, heartbroken. So he goes to his apartment and he's like crying and stuff like that. But I don't know if he was knocking on the door or somehow ended up at the door, and his best friend's little brother was at the door and was like, hey, I got in a fight with my parents and I don't want to stay in there right now. So can I stay with you for however long? And he's like, yeah. So the entire story is mainly just kind of like him getting rid of this crush, this unrequited love for his best friend, and recognizing the reality of you cannot be with this man. But his little brother has been in love with him ever since they had just like met each other. But he's also one of those like, I'm mean. I show my affection in being mean.
No!
I show my affection in being mean. So when he was
Come
younger,
over and bully me. Come over and bully me.
So whenever he was younger, he was like the mean kid, and he was always like poking fun at him. But he always was just like, oh, that's because he was younger and stuff like that. And so he always had love for him. But then it starts realizing like the entire time, I think that's why like quote unquote the title, whenever I translate it, said, I want to see me in your eyes. It's like, I don't want you to see me and look at my brother. I want you to see me for me. And that's the entire plot line. And it is the cutest thing ever. And he's like, when I'm telling you, he's persistent, but he's not pushy. There's times where he's like, well, actually, because it's spicy. So there's like a scene of jerkulation. I don't know. So there's
Jerkulation. What in the Dr. Seuss are you cooking over there?
I don't know. PPP got me, and I was like, I feel like we should be trademarking some things.
Make a list. Just need to start making a list.
We need to trademark some things. So they have like that whole situation. And what I love about this trope of like, oh, we need to like we can just jerk each other off and that's fine. And the thing about me is that I know it's in BL, but I know this happens in real life. Like I know straight men like just will like just start jerking off together. And I'm like, see, if y'all could just look at that and take away the sexuality of it, y'all could just have a great time with your homies. Like, y'all could just be homosexual, brother. Like, it could be.
She said, I'm ready to normalize homie head for straight men.
Yeah, it's not gay.
She says there's mutual masturbation.
Yes.
And gay.
Exactly. Like, it's just it's the intention. It's the intentionality. But there's like a specific parts of jerkulation and he was like, I need help and but after that like it literally just keeps going, and it's literally just him finally saying it, and him like looking back and saying like, okay, yeah, no, for the times, and he's there in his apartment for a while, like helping him cook, helping him do whatever, helping him calm
Clearly.
down after yeah, helping him calm down after a long day at work, and they're like together, and he's recognizing like, oh, I also have like romantic feeling to it. And so, and then there's also a chapter where they meet the brother and his girlfriend, and that's kind of like a test to himself, like, no, I'm actually really great with this because I have you here, and you will help me remember like, this is fine, I can be his best friend again, and we can have this normal relationship, and I have a relationship with you.
I do have a high school story. I'm actually certain that you've read this one. And so I decided to read it this week. No God in Eden.
Yes.
Um,
I love it.
I just need to, so is this the origin of the Omegaverse? Is this like the Omegaverse Bible and its Genesis and like the story of Adam and Steve and like how like the Omegaverse came into existence? Because
the next Atlanta Pride, when people try to put out it's not Adam and Eve, it's Adam and Steve, I'm holding up No God in Eden and I'm saying, this is my Bible. There is Adam and Steve. But yes, that is, at least of my knowledge, that's the only Omegaverse, and I could be wrong. There's like years of fanfic and stuff like that, but as of I know, like that's kind of like the origin, like that's the only title that has done that.
I love this book for so many reasons, but I have to say, like, the greatest is simply that. Like, somebody finally was like, hey, the whole concept of like the Omegaverse exists as a byproduct of humanity's natural evolution.
Yes.
And I'm like, damn,
That's
like,
good.
way to go. And it's so I loved it. I ate this up. And this is really high on the PPP scale. So I appreciated that as well. I was just like, dang, like they were going at it. And I was impressed.
I was impressed.
I was impressed. You know what I mean? I mean, to handle your first heat without suppressants, like dang. And also I love just like the little sprinkles of foreshadowing of the Omegaverse, like his urge to bite and how he's like literally out here like stomping on his fist to like not bite his partner and all of this, and like I loved it. I will say though, the added note, just like jumping really quickly, of being able to like have this like mind reading ability.
Yes.
I'm into that.
That's
I'm
something
into
new,
that.
and I mentioned that. Yeah, someone was like, "Yeah, this," because I was like, correct me if I'm wrong, like I don't think I've seen this, and people were like, yeah, no, we've this they handled this so well that I was genuinely shocked that this was this was a title, like this was a work. I was like, this is actually really good.
I love this first one. I can't wait to get the second one, and I would love to see this author get permission from their editor and, you know, from publishing at Seven Seas to give us more stories of other people discovering themselves in this world. Like, I would love to see an expanse of like, how do we get into the arena of people realizing the need for suppressants? Because that comes after, I'm sure there's a lot of like harder things when you have people awaken to their alpha tendencies and pheromones and all of the things that make Omegaverse a little bit more dubious. And I want to see like the political structure and the like the caste system. Like and I feel like this author, just for coming up with this, deserves that opportunity. Like, let them run and truly like expand on this world.
Yes, one of the things, and I don't want to overly spoil it, but they do get to a point where it's not like expansive, but they do get to a point where you notice like, okay, now it's growing. Like now it got to a point where you start to see like the pheromones are moving and other people are feeling effects as well, but that's where it stops. And so I know that No God in Eden, I think in total has 4 volumes, so I'm hoping they do just that. And that's what my hope was after reading the second one. I was like, I hope, and if they do like one of those where one volume goes outside of the relationship, the couple, and then maybe like the 4th volume comes back. But I really like the idea of just like we really do need to see how it just spreads and how other people are affected by it and what does that structure look like. That's really
Yeah.
cool. It was such a cool one.
I liked it. I do need to go get the second volume. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I was not expecting to. I didn't know what to expect from this. And I did a cursory flip through, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of like flapping going on, but I'm like, no, there's like proper story here. Like this is great.
Yeah. It was so interesting because I was like, I did like a prediction afterwards. I was like, they gotta get out this closet, y'all. They gotta get
They
out
got
this
it.
closet. They got it. I was like, this closet, because I think it was at the end of volume 1 where he recognized, okay, it's a heat, but I don't know if he figured out how long it was. But I was like, they in that closet for that many
Yeah.
days, bro. A week
Yeah.
and
No,
then
the last line is like they realize that it's likened unto a heat that like a wolf experiences, and the last line is something like heat. That's like a great name for it or something like that.
yeah,
Hold on, it's like oh, it has a nice ring to it.
yeah. But yeah, oh, and they in that closet the entire heat, and I was like, y'all need a shower. Y'all need a shower, boy. Ooh,
What?
y'all stink. Or at least Nishio does it. Nishio does. Wait, who is Nishio? I forget.
Nishio's the omega. Takai is the alpha.
Got you. Takai's fine. He goes back home. Nishio needs a bath. It's a bath. Ah! But I'm really excited for
Leave
it.
that poor boy alone. Okay.
It's like I was genuinely shocked, and I think you're gonna love volume 2 even more because they feed into like the mind reading kind of had like a supernatural touch to it, and I was like and they kind of dive even deeper into that kind of like supernatural aspect of the Omegaverse, which I really love. It was kind of like, in my opinion, I was like, this is groundbreaking. No one's talking.
I was gonna say, do you think we're going to start seeing like mind reading in the Omegaverse and new titles after this?
I think so. I really
I think we
do.
should.
We should
I want
have
to see
it
people
more.
explore it.
It's
Yeah.
a really cool to actually know, especially when you're exploring the idea of mates. Like, my mate, I can hear my mate. I know when they're
Yeah.
in trouble, because there's always the innate feeling that they're in trouble, but
Mhm.
like, I know they're in trouble. I can hear them. And like a link. That's so cool.
Yep.
Okay. What's on? Okay, my next, I think this should be my last. Oh Lord, I gotta say this in Japanese too. Okay. I'm gonna attempt it. Okay, guys. Hatsukoi, that's a good one. Hatsukoi ni wa kana wanai. English. I am no match for the first love.
Okay.
So this is, once again, like I said, I was down a rabbit hole of the person who did Toranokun and Kumsaki-kun and the last title that I just mentioned. So this is the same mangaka. This one is not an office romance, but both are office workers. And it is once again childhood friends to lovers. Just saying. This was one of those where I really like it, where the quote unquote bottom is bigger and more like the protector when they were younger, and then they grow up and then they're like, oh, why are you so tall? Like, it's one of those, but the top is like super adorable. And it's also one of those where he's like, he is kind of a meanie head because he doesn't really understand his feelings, and he doesn't want to. He's kind of just like, like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you like me? Like, what? I don't know. Why do you do that? But the love interest immediately sees past that. He's like, I know you're lying. I know what you're thinking, but I'm going to be here. I'm going to stick beside you until you recognize that I'm here for you. And they're always at one or the other's apartments, and it's a really funny to experience him actually falling in love. But one of my favorite things is that he gets drunk one day, and he's one of those drunks where he just like blabs, and so he's just like, okay, yeah, well, I don't have a girlfriend right now because every single time I tell them about my kink, they just kind of like run away. But I really like it when, like, if they could just finger me real quick, and I just want that, and they never do that. And so, yeah, that's why I'm single right now. And the love interest is like, wait, what? What? And he just says it so casually, and he's like, but I, so you don't, but I can. He just doesn't connect it, and then they literally like eventually they get there. They get there,
They
but
get there.
they get there. They get.
I love how tame to think that like fingering is your kink. I love that. That makes me
Yeah.
so happy. I'm like, oh, you sweet summer child.
He was like, I just love it so much, and just no one ever wants to do it with me. And he's just like, I'll do it. What do you mean? I'm right here. But then it's just the idea of him like actually liking him, where it's like, oh, that's different. But I will say this one cuts and then has a second couple, and it's this like it's this high school romance. I don't necessarily like when they do that because they cut it so abruptly, and they'll introduce a second couple where I'm like, where did you come from? The second couple is cute, but it would have just made more sense if they were in like two different mangas. That one is basically like the popular boy does not like getting attention from girls, also does not like talking to girls, and does not have a male friend because all the guys don't like see him as competition. And then there's this like wimpy little boy who he's so scared to talk to girls in general or to talk to people in general. And so they have that shared commonality, and he's just like, be my friend. And he's literally like, be my friend, and he's like, okay. But then he like he actually likes him, and then he's just like, okay, well, I'll keep going at it until you realize I like you. And then he's like, okay, I like you too. But that one, it's cute, but I'm like, y'all should just make it a second manga. But that's that one specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds so sweet.
It's very sweet, but it's also very funny. Like, he's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Like he's literally like this, and he's like, yeah, so my girlfriend was going down on me, and I was like, just pop it in there real quick. And she said no. And I was like, man.
Honestly though, like, you know what? Like, let's step outside of the literature for a minute. I know there are so many straight men out there that are struggling with that.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they need a woman who is willing to just be like, not think it's weird, and just like oblige. Because like, here's the thing: you don't have to be gay to like things in your butt. You really don't.
Exactly.
Like, it's just the facts of it. Like, dudes, it's okay to like stuff in your butt.
It's
like,
okay.
And ladies, you need to be, ladies, be less homophobic.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
And if there's anybody who's like above 5'8" and likes to go to the gym and they like that,
I'm gonna bring up my next title, which is also an Omegaverse. City Light's Birthday.
Ooh.
Have you heard of this?
I saw that cover in Kinokuniya.
Yeah. So it's from the Futakiya publishing house, where it's exclusively like BL titles, and they have a wide array of stuff. I've seen like middle-aged romances, office romance, Omegaverse, like they're kind of like all over. And for the most part, I've actually really enjoyed what they put out. Like I'm like, nothing is like a home run. Like I'm gonna shout from the rooftops, everybody go read this, but nothing's been bad either. It's all just kind of like, oh yeah, this was enjoyable. And this does fall into that category. Although it does take on a bit of a serious tone because the whole premise is fated mates within the Omegaverse.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the premise. You have a story that, first of all, follows a beta. Okay. Last week we talked about how I never read a story where the beta was the protagonist, and here we are. I'm just like every week I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna like correct myself or learn before the next episode.
Yeah, it'll find you. It'll find you.
Yes. So this one follows a beta who, when you meet him, is a virgin, has this chance encounter with a man on a stairwell in winter, and circumstance. It turns out that this individual on the fire escape is a sex worker. Okay. And so our beta goes to the sex worker Omega's shop. He, offers his virginity and has this notion of catching feelings. But as these stories go, they spend more time talking than they do fornicating because of course, when you're paying for it, you might as well pay for a conversation instead, right?
True.
So, true. So it turns out that our Omega, as a child, had an experience to where they fully believed that they met their fated mate. Ooh. But because they hadn't hit puberty, they hadn't hit their what's the proper term for it? Their type, I guess. Like, he didn't know he was an omega. He didn't know the other person was an alpha, but they knew that there was this connection. And so that happened to him in elementary school. He is now 20 years old, and he spent the entirety of his life sending, or start rather saving every penny to pay detectives to find this person. And so now our beta, who definitely has feelings for this omega, realizes that he wants to help him find his fated partner so he can have the closure that he needs, so he can move on from this person that he has now caught feelings for,
Oh.
right? So it very much, I have to give it to the writer, because I actually did not predict the ending. I was like,
Ooh, okay.
I did not know how this was going to end. And they do have some pretty aggressive time skips, so the pacing does get a little choppy. But after a few pages, it like you reset and you're like, okay, I've acclimated, I know where I am, and you kind of like move forward in the story. And it really does showcase the struggle of what we experience in our world of the one that got away. And a lot of people, I feel like, would find comfort in the way that this fated mate topic is sort of unraveled, and how it would apply to people who maybe have a lot of regrets for not pursuing a relationship in the past, or feeling like, there was the one that got away, or what is the life that could have been if I had just like stuck it out with this person, or da 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 da. And I, as someone who really loved my last partner and have had thoughts like that, where it's like, well, what would it have been like if I could have like stuck it out in this way or whatever? It was really beautiful. It was a really beautiful and comforting conclusion to that type of question. So it's not something that I would typically read story wise, but I'm glad that I did. And I would say, like, if you have any interest in like faded romances, this is a really good one to add to the repertoire.
Ooh, that sounds so interesting. And I do want to read more of those, because there's another one that I really want to get into. I think it's called Second Alpha. Once again, on the topic of fated mates, but in particular, I think if I'm not wrong, I think the person already had a mate. And so then it's kind of like you fall in love with someone who already has a mate. And
Mm,
that's very
mm,
interesting to like, what does that look like? I always see it, to be honest with you, with how much I purchase like a digital, it could be in this Kindle right now. It really could. I'm looking at it. It really could be in this Kindle, and I just don't know, because I have no self control. But I really, it sounds really interesting. That sounds really interesting too. That's cool. I think that's also why I like those. The I'm falling in love with this, or I fell in love with this person. I love this person. I love my best friend, and they don't love me back. I really like how they like kind of end it. And it's like, okay,
mm.
I no longer have those feelings for this person. And like, how did you transition into like another person? That also reminds me of A Love Song for the Defective, which is another digital title. In Japanese. It's another digital title where it had that same thing, where he was so in love with his best friend, and kind of everybody could recognize that, and they had to like, all right, brother, you got to get out of there. You got to, and then what that closure looks like, ugh, because everybody loves a good closure, but no one really knows what closure means to them. Like, what does that actually mean?
Ooh, tea,
I'm just saying. I'm just
tea.
saying, because I love my client comes like, I just needed closure. Was closure spitting the block again? It was not, sweetheart. It was not. That's not closure. You've opened something again. So what does closure actually look like to you? Does it mean like, okay, I have to say my piece and then leave? Does it mean no contact? I like that. I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna look into that
Yep.
one. That's cute.
Thank you.
Okay. So I have one more. I read volume
Okay,
two
I have two
of
more. So,
LOL. I have Let Me See the Real You Senpai, volume two. Um,
mhm.
this was another VTuber one. So
Okay.
yeah, this was actually the first known. So I'm not gonna say it's the first VTuber one, but it's the first known one that published first. So whenever I was reading My Noons and Midnights, I was trying so hard not to compare them. I was like, I shouldn't do this. Let me give this a fair shot. But
Okay.
Let Me See
Okay.
the Real You Senpai mainly focuses on this guy who Hikaru, who has his personality is completely the opposite. He's such an introvert. He calls himself a wallflower. He's like, I can't even speak to people. Like, you are introduced to him trying to get food and pay for food, and it was really hard for him to ask about a food item that he wanted, and he was like, that was hard, I can't talk. So he's like, he's really shy, he's really introverted, and he pretends to be an extrovert in a way that he thinks extroverts would be, very sunshine, very bright, like everyone's attracted to like this bright person who's popular and always has a story to tell and stuff like that. So that's his persona, and he's really built on like, I've been able to be this indie person by myself without a company to get to 700,000 followers. He sees this new femboy VTuber, and this person was talking about how they love his character, and they start streaming together. They ultimately end up wanting to meet each other, and he's like, oh shit, this person has to meet me, and I'm nothing like the character, and they say that I'm their idol, and they meet each other. And it's this buff, it's this built, beautiful, handsome salesman, just regular salesman, and he's like, hi, and he immediately just like falls in love with him. He's loved him for like this entire time. He really helped him through some like really bad situations. And so the premise is like, okay, people found out like who I am, but I stuck true to myself, and I have somebody who sticks beside me. Volume 2 is essentially a jealousy arc, and it's essentially a jealousy and miscommunication arc. I like half of those. So so the miscommunication was making me mad, but I love it because, what's this man's name? Who is you? So you is the type of person where, okay, I'm not going to let things get to me. And if they do get to me, I'm just not going to say it. I'm just going to stick it out. And so as he's starting to realize that girl, what is your name? I only know plots. Haruki. So once he realized that someone likes Haruki, he's like, oh, this jealousy. I don't want to feel this jealousy because the last time someone felt jealous, something personal to me broke. And I don't want that rage to consume me the same way it did for that one person. So I'm going to hold it all in. Same thing with Haruki, where he has all of these problems, but he doesn't know how to vocalize it. And he feels like he's quote unquote too much if he has these like problems. And so eventually they come together when they recognize, after working with other streamers, they were able to recognize like, no, why am I approaching this like I can't just talk to my partner? And they eventually get to the point like, we need to talk to each other, and they have that conversation, and it's thick. So
I love a thick manga.
Yeah, it's thick.
I love a thick manga. I really do. Oh my gosh. Okay, I may have to check that out, just because I do, like you, I want to read more stories in the realm of like what's the world like right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, using that as the launch pad, let's read about a fantasy in another world. Let's talk about My Younger Knight Takes Care of Me in Another World. Have you read Isekai Office Worker, The Other World's books depend on the bean counter?
Yes.
Beat for beat. This is plagiarism. Whichever came first is the source material, and copy paste. It is the same story, but written by a furry. That is the only difference. Like, this person is a furry, and that's it. That's the only thing that is different about these two stories. And it's I consider it disrespectful, if I'm being honest.
I do
like,
as well.
It's one thing to have the same premise of like, okay, cool, like, yeah, like isekai, office worker, whatever, like he's a workaholic, cool. Like, we have a cliche character moving through a fantasy world. But I'm like, baby, you just ripped some of these panels straight from the other book.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. Like, so I read the whole thing. I feel the same way about, I feel like I would like this, just as much as the other one if I had not read, Isekai Office Worker, if I hadn't read Bean Counter. So I'm conflicted because I'm like, well, I like the fluffy puppy, but I want to know what's the relationship like between these two authors. I want to know. I'm like,
Okay.
do y'all know each other?
So,
like, have you had a conversation? Oh, do you have tea?
I have what I shout out to Girls, Gays, and Anime's Val, because whenever this happened, because whenever I read it, I picked it up and literally I DNF'd it after like chapter 3, I believe, because I was like, this is just this is just bean counter. I was like, this is genuinely it. And so whenever I put that on my story, she had been like, yeah, let's get to the bottom of it. So we were like kind of deep diving, and we found out that yes, so Bean Counter came out first. They officially published back in 2018, I believe. This one came out 2020. Okay. So you already knew the blueprint had come out, and you just did that. And then I think continuing from that, Val was like, okay, yeah, and I also saw some of their other stuff, and they, not saying that they do plagiarize work, but you can tell that their kind of stamp was the furry aspect, like the animal aspect is like something that's very them. But I was like, it was so crazy. Like, I was thinking, like, I felt like I was going crazy, and I was going through all the forums. Like, I was on Reddit, like, what are y'all saying? And it's literally like, it's copy paste. So any single time I saw another creator, they were like, oh, I just purchased this. I was like, send it back. Send it back. Like, no, don't do that. And then especially during a time where we're getting our show, like, no.
Right. No. I'm going to take this a step further, and because I'm not just going to like, ask, our author Shima, I'm not just going to ask you, yo, the fuck, I want to 7 C's. I know you got a team that has to do research. I know you got a team that has to look up these titles. Like, I know that like this, she didn't just print this overnight and it ended up on a shelf. It takes steps to get to this tangible thing and onto a bookshelf at Barnes and Noble. So I want to know that conversation.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Like 7 C's, here's my thing with 7 C's. They got some great titles. They really do. I like a lot of their work. I have acquired a phrase that you used in a video once where I was like, I do refer to them as the 7 Bands Publishing Company because their stuff is always more expensive than everybody else's. It's crazy. And you know what? I'm going to say it live. They try to get me to make videos for them for free. I was willing to cut my rate in half because I do want to support queer titles. I do want to make them more accessible. I do want to be able to review these titles, but they were like, no, like, and when I told them, because I did call them out, I was like, hey, there are too many publication companies that are asking creators to do work for free to make them more money when they don't allocate any of that to the people that are giving them those opportunities. And they hit me back with, as a smaller independent publishing company, yes, the gag, right?
Girl, you're making all the Danmei.
So I say all of that in that I don't, first of all, to the person that I had correspondence with, your name, you were cool. And I know that you were only working with the cards that you are dealt. Like, I get that. Like, I could tell that this person was like bummed that they couldn't do anything for me. So this is directly targeted at those in authority at 7 C's. I need you to get it together. Because it was one thing when you were just like willing to shortchange a content creator, which I know most publishing companies do not see our value. But it's another thing when you're going to let somebody rip off another author's work and then put it into production and let it hit the shelf. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I better not see a volume 2 because that says volume 1.
There is a volume 2.
But
there is a volume 2.
When is it coming out?
I think it's out. I have it. I bought them both because I didn't know.
It's already, I didn't even realize. Oh.
I have one more title, and I didn't do this on purpose, but I have one more title, and I'm mad about it. Are you happy about your title that you're about to share?
Oh, I don't have another title. I can tell you what I just bought today.
What did you buy today? Tell me what you bought today.
I got some manhwas, physical manhwas. I got Dear Door Volume 2. Really beautiful. It's my second ever BL manhwa that I read, and I'm not a fantasy person, but it is very fantasy driven. It's like an angels and demons type of thing. And it's really cool. It's very long, but the side stories are also some of the best side stories because you get a top swap where you have two of the tops that hate each other swap and they like each other for a couple chapters. So I love that. There's like 3 couples in it, so I love it. It's
I'm
like
intrigued.
very sentimental to me. I love it. It's very long, and I love the fact that it's like super thick. Also 7
Okay.
C's, so it was $26 today. And then I have Low Tide and Twilight. Read the trigger
That's
warnings.
getting series, right? That's getting animated, isn't it?
That is getting animated. Yes, it's getting animated, which I'm very excited because I do want to see more of Korean animations. They're very different and they're more unique, and I really need to see more and them to be longer. But this one is Low Tide and Twilight, and all I can say is check the trigger warnings because this one is like a red to green flag. So
Heard. Okay. I'm gonna finish the episode with a 7C's title. Go for it, Nakamura, Volume 2. And to the author, in the most respectful way possible, what the fuck?
What happened?
Have you read Go for it, Nakamura, Volume 1?
I still have it.
Okay. So, like, I have it right here. So, read it, love it, enjoy it, and then pretend Volume 2 doesn't even exist. Because I'm so confused. I'm so confused because, one, we're getting the anime this year at some point. We were supposed to get it last year. It was postponed. We haven't received a statement on like date, but whatever, but it's coming out. I was assuming that the anime was going to cover Volume 1 and Volume 2. That's what I was assuming. But now the rumor on the mill is that it's only going to cover Volume 1, which, do you see this?
How?
You see this skinty queen? Do you see how like snatched her waist is? Like, right? What? So, and even the episodes, because this has 11 chapters. 11 chapters.
How?
So right, exactly. Now, here's the thing. I like this book. I think it is so sweet and so endearing. It's fun. It's funny. There's a really cute coming of age crush. There's so many good components about this. Like, as a manga, I'm like, this is a great manga. I really do love it. So imagine my disappointment when I read Volume 2 and I'm just like, I hope you're hungry for nothing, because there is no development in like the actual dynamic between our 2 leading characters. They introduce plot lines and like subplots. You're just like, 1, why? And 2, where are they going to go? And then I find out there's no Volume 3 coming. Like, there's nothing after. And the way that this ends, you're just like, but where's the rest? So I'm so frustrated because, you know, we over at this, you know, on this side of the internet, we started with Sasaki and Miyano, you know, a cute, wholesome high school, like bisexual awakening relationship. And we love that. This had very similar energy, but it was like a little bit more funny, kind of a little bit raunchier. So it was like, okay, cool. Like, we love it up a little bit, but to go from this to this, I haven't been this upset about a second volume since reading Versus Love. And I'm actually more mad about this than I was with Versus Love.
Because you know, I was acting the same way with Versus Love. Oh God, I'm so disappointed because I was very excited for that. And
read Volume 1. You will like Volume 1. It's fun. It's just good. It's just good. And I don't know if it's, you know, because sometimes editors get so much say and they're like, go in this direction, and the author just has to like kind of like do whatever. But even the art quality like dropped. Like, even like, because Volume 1, like, you flip through and you're like backgrounds and like color and you're like movement and shots and things like that. This, it's so many pages of just like negative space line where you're just like, what the hell? Like, where's the rest? Where's the rest?
Homegirl ain't meet her deadline.
It's supposed to be 11 episodes. We're supposed to be getting a full season.
Girl,
and so here's the thing. I have no idea what they're planning to do, but I'm going to shift gears. I know we got to like wrap up things pretty soon here, but I am scared because I've already been disappointed with our first BL title of the year, because Isekai Office Worker anime is not it. It is not it. I am so disappointed with Studio Dean, who did Sasaki and Miyano. I am so disappointed with the direction of it, the animation of it. It very much feels like a situation to where the people who made all the decisions know, like, the gays are starving, we'll give them breadcrumbs and they are going to show up first. And you know what? They're right, because I am still going to watch it every week because I want to support the queer title, because I want more queer titles. But so disappointed in the quality. It is an absolutely diluted version of the source material. And
Wow.
too often are companies allowed to get away with like scraps, especially when we
Yeah.
have source material
That's
like Bean
crazy.
Counter.
I didn't because I'm waiting for most of like a good amount of the episodes before I start that, and to hear that is like really disappointing because the whole source material is so good. Why would you want to start picking, choosing, diluting?
I'm going to tell you this for free. The OP and the ED are gayer than the show. So that's all I have for this week. I'm very excited to read more this week. I will be in Canada, so our next episode will be shot internationally, which is kind of exciting.
Woo!
I need to figure out what I'm going to be reading on the plane. I might have to pick up one of those that you recommended and read some BL in public on the flight and see what my neighbor thinks.
Yeah, a little Fwop Fwop ain't gonna hurt him.
Oh, Fwop Fwop ain't gonna hurt.
Little Fwop Fwop ain't gonna hurt you. You won't see.
It's public. And you know what else is public? Our channel. Thank you so much for tuning into Bookshelf Besties. If you liked what you saw here, make sure that you like and subscribe and follow us on our individual accounts. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.